strike, we were virtually certain oil was there. But now, nothing. On New Year's Eve 1937, though, number 7, cantankerous as ever, blew out. By 1938, our early hopes had all but vanished.
When I arrived, there was a cloud hanging over the place. You almost could see it from afar. They had been working for 4.5 years diligently and had not discovered any oil in commercial quantities. They had attacked the Dammam Dome and anywhere. They drilled it all out of it and had a dry hole. And at the time, the only place left to drill was what later became Abu Hadriya. The first paleontologist had left by the time I got there, signing off on the theme that he would drink all was ever found in Arabia. Amongst the optimists was Max Steinecke, the chief geologist. He had traveled across the peninsula, made careful notes of what he saw, collected innumerable rock samples, and was eye of one who later was be acclaimed as the best field geologist in the world. He never had any doubt but that Saudi Arabia would produce oil, and in quantities. Half a world away in San Francisco, the border was engaged with the question as to whether they would continue or not. One faction was all for continuing exploration in Arabia, despite whatever might happen with in the deepening of well number 7. The other faction maintained that they had been worked at the concession in Saudi Arabia for 4.5 years, and they were simply pouring good money after bad, chucking it down a rat hole in a country half the world away from San Francisco.
On the day that oil was discovered in well number 7, I wasn't there. It was during the early morning en route to Bahrain to go back to the United States on my leave. But as I was going down the runway toward the plane, an Arab came round waving a piece of paper and calling Oliger, Oliger. And naturally the first thing I thought was Oliger's wanted back over there in Saudi Arabia for some reason. But when I opened my note, it said, "We have discovered oil. Bon voyage."
Now there would be more wells, more workers pouring into Dhahran. And a king would come from Riyadh to see for himself.
We thought, and I think he did too, that there would just be a small group of Saudi Arabs come with him from Riyadh. We had I don't know how many people, nobody does, but it required a city of its own. And it turned out to be just a big picnic for the king and all of the Saudis within.
May the 1st, 1939, King Abdul Aziz sets off from Dhahran for Ras Tanura on the dispatch of the first tanker load of Saudi oil.
When we got to Ras Tanura, it was early morning, and people were just waiting to see the king appear before. I was one of the lucky fellows to have a chance to shake hands with His Majesty the King. I was very impressed by his size. He was a giant of a man, and when His Majesty evolved, he thanked God for blessing us with this wealth.